Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and what I want to do now, hopefully that you have the Ruinous Effigy, is show you all where all 50 of Savathuns' eyes are around the world. So we've got 4 planets to cover and 2 missions or dungeons, well, dungeons, missions, one-offs, whatever you want to call them. So you've got 10 eyes on Titan, 10 on Io, 10 on Mercury, and 10 on Mars. Then you have 5 eyes in the Whisper mission. And then you've got 5 eyes in the new Prophecy dungeon. So you've got 50 total to get. Now, for the catalyst itself, you probably only need, I hear, about 35, depending on how much you've shot before. My advice, though, is try and go around and find the ones in the game world. It's still going to be at least about 40. And it's going to be a lot quicker to find those than try and get the kills that you need. I've used this thing just randomly, toying around with it, messing around just to see how it works. And I'm at like 9%, and I've killed a lot of stuff with it. So if you go for the killing method, you're going to be at it for a while. My advice, use the eyes. It's going to be much quicker. Now, the other reason you might want to go for all 50 eyes instead of just to get the catalyst is you've got 2 different seals that are going to involve this catalyst, or the triumph. So Hive-God Optometrist, you've got 50 eyes for the arrival seal. And you've also got the 50 eyes related to the MMXX Moments of Triumph seal. Same triumph, but it is listed on both of those. So if you are working for either of these triumphs, you are going to need all 50 of these. Now, when I went through and worked on trying to find the best guide for you guys, what I wanted to do is take a planet and a landing zone and make the most efficient paths that I could. So hopefully these work out for you guys. Some are going to be in Lost Sector, so those will be separate little runs. And then some are going to be somewhat off the beaten path, so I tried to make each run as efficient as possible. We're going to go through each of the planets, and then the mission and the dungeon will be the last 2. So let's start with Titan, and here we go. All right, so starting with Titan, what we've got is we're in Siren's Watch. We're going to hit the ones outside the Lost Sector first, then we're going to hit the Methane Flush. Then we're going to go over to the rig, get the ones on the upper deck area. There's 2 in the Lost Sectors as well. And then we'll finally finish up in the Solarium, 1 towards the Festering Halls. And the final one is pretty buried in the Arboretum. So you got 2 different ones there. So we're going basically west-east on the map. So follow along. So once you load into the actual planet, the Siren's Watch landing zone, you'll have Sloane on your left. Run past her. And the first one is going to be pretty hard to miss. It's right here. So number 1 is right here in Sloane's area. Pretty quick and painless. Now make sure you shoot all of the eyes with the weapon itself. Try not to explode any of them with the dunking orb mechanic. You want to shoot them with the beam. Don't damage these with the orb itself. You could glitch the Triumph, which you don't want to do. So that is number 1. Number 2, we're going to come down here. Avoid the whole public event thing that's going on. If we can dodge that, it would be beneficial. And what you're going to want to do is head over to this long kind of passageway in between. Now, there's typically going to be some enemies in here. It's not a big deal. And again, don't pick up the orbs. You do not want to mess with those. But once you can see this area, you're going to look straight up. If you guys can see on the map where I'm at, I'm over here in this kind of long passageway south of that middle section. Look straight up. This will be number 2. Pretty quick and painless. Do a nice U-turn back to where the public event would be, but we're going to go left into this corridor over here. Now, we got to go slightly far in here, so this is why I'll usually work on the ones in the open areas of the kind of patrol zones first, and the ones that are farther in caves or passageways and things like that, and then kind of warp back to the landing zone. So you got to run back in here a little bit. It's a decent ways in as you go through. And then as you get into these areas, you're going to be facing a few enemies as you get here. And it's going to be right above you over here. Trying to make sure I don't die. But again, as you enter through the kind of corridor area, literally quick turn to the right. Try and kill this knight who wants to just ruin my video. Thanks, dude. Just want to kill him real fast. Alright. And then, once you just make this first corner, that's number 3. So now what I would advise, we're going to warp back to Siren's Watch, Siren's Watch, and we're going to go into the Lost Sector. Alright, Guardians, so we are back at Siren's Watch landing zone, and we are going to go into the Lost Sector. So jump over here to the left. Try and catch it right here. Quickest way I know how to get into the Lost Sector. Now, any of these that have the lost sectors, you are going to have to potentially clear some enemies, especially some when you go into the lost sectors. They are going to be buried very, very far back in, potentially. So you want to make sure you have a decent set to be able to kill some enemies, not just the Ruinous Effigy. When we get into this one, we're going to have to make sure we for sure kill some Shriekers, couple ads, and then try and get the ads to actually leave the room. Because when you get to actually trying to shoot the eye, this one is in a very weird spot, and you almost need to get it a very awkward angle to make it happen. So trying to kill the Shriekers first, man, they're annoying. And then do enough damage to basically make sure it leaves the building. So trying to damage the wizard first. Things like exploding boxes are wonderfully helpful. Finishing moves can be as well. Trying to clear a couple. This dude's running. Alright, so I got the wizard out of the room. Make sure you got nothing else in here. And all we need to do from here, once you've got this room emptied out, we're going to look up, and you'll actually see it right between the rafters up here. So you see the two big yellow canisters on the ceiling from the entrance. Get to an angle where you can kind of shift to the side, and you're barely just going to be able to touch it with the laser. And that is number 4. So now we're going to head over to the rig, and everything else is going to be done from here. So, new zone, let's head to the rig. Alright, so first let's get the two kind of in the patrol areas. We're going to get the 2 in the lost sectors, 1 in each. I'll always come back to here so you guys know where they are at. And then finally we'll head into the solarium. So the first one, what you're going to want to do is head straight forward. This is where the public event typically would be. As you enter this room, there may or may not be some enemies, but number 5 should be right up here. Pretty easy to spot. Back out, exit the room where you came in, and head over here to your left. Now this one is going to take you to the little catwalk down below, and that's actually where we're going to head into the lost sector as well. So 2 birds with 1 stone. As I said, try to make this as efficient as possible. Hop over this little ledge. Doesn't matter the class. And then this little yellow pipe, you'll go around it and underneath. So here's number 6. The math works correctly. Then just do a quick U-turn. We're going to head into the lost sector. Now I'm not going to kill everything in this lost sector. I'm actually going to try and duck out fairly quickly. But as soon as we enter, we're going to need to head to the right just to get a little cover from the ogre that's going to be hanging in there with us. So I'm going to try and head to the right, kill a couple of the ads over here. And then all you want to do is get a little cover, look straight up behind you. You should be right up top. Now I'm going to teleport back into the lost sector. Actually, sorry, I'm going to teleport back to the rig landing zone. I'll see you guys on the top. Alright, so we're back in the landing zone. From here, we're going to want to head into the next lost sector. This one, hopefully I can get some ammo along the way too. You might need to do that occasionally, kill a few ads for ammo. Be good if they would actually drop special ammo, because that's actually what I need. Yeah, I got a little lucky there. But once you come from the area I was, head through here, and we're going to head into this doorway right here. Turn to your right, go down the stairs, you'll see the red door, and do a quick Yui. We're going to head down into the lost sector. Now this one you're not going to go all the way in, but you are going to go a decent ways, so again, warping back out to the landing zones is personally a quicker way to exit, depending on if you're on console, loading times, things like that. It may be better for you to run out. That's a personal preference, honestly, for you. So just kind of make that judgment call. Do what works best for your system. I just try and give you guys the point of reference of the landing zone so you always kind of know where I'm coming from. Now, this is one where the enemies definitely are on the ground floor, and I think you're going to have decent access to actually be able to get to the eye as well. Sorry, we're getting there, and there is the eye. So I'm going to kill a couple and then show you guys the orientation of this room. Alright, so you came in from over here, right there. Made this little quick jaunt around here. And then as soon as you turn to the right in here, the lost sector goes that way, and your eye is over here on the right. So don't forget about this one. So this should be number 8. Once again, warping back out to the rig, just because it's easier for me. See you guys on the top, and we're going to the solarium. So once we're on the top again, jump on your Sparrow. We've got a bit of a trip ahead of us. Now, from here, we're going all the way into the solarium, and the 2 eyes in the solarium are on different sides from when you enter. So what you're going to want to do One is much deeper into one of the sides, and since getting over here does take a little time, I'm going to take you to the shorter one first, backtrack a little bit, and then we'll finish with the last one, pretty much as far away from one of the landing zones as possible. So it's just like you're going into the Savathun strike. Head up through here, make your U-turn around, kill a few enemies on the way. Again, if you ever need ammo, it's always good to just shoot a couple, pick up the ammo brick, hopefully they drop, and that way you're not running too low on Ruinous Effigy ammo as you proceed through. Don't have to kill all the ads, but if you're getting shot, never a bad thing. So we're going to head to the right first. There are going to be enemies on both sides, but the right is going to be the one that you can retreat out of quicker. I'm not going to kill everything through this middle section, but it does make it a little easier if you're not running through absolute, you know, tons of bullets flying at you. So I will kill a few as we go. Head in through the doorway. And it's really not that far in, which is why it's easier to backtrack this one than the other. They both have a bit of a jaunt to them, so you're going to go on a bit of a journey. Nice thing about all the eyes, they're actually taking you to a lot of different places you may not have seen in a while, haven't had a reason to go through for story or whatever. It's just kind of a final lap, a last tour of all the different planets that are going away at the end of this season, going into Beyond Light. So once you see Festering Halls appear on your screen, you see this doorway and what looks to be a bigger city area. You're going to have a few enemies down below. You can kill those just to get a decent angle on this thing. And then from here, all you need to do is land, turn around, and it should be right above you. So this is number 9. If I can jump and clamber up. All right. So we're going to backtrack, and then we're going to go all the way into the Arboretum on the other side to finish up Titan, and then we will be 10 of 10. Now, I've killed a few enemies, but going into this first section, this first planet, I was 9% for the Catalyst. And we'll see once we're done with this first planet so you guys can get an idea what 10 of the eyes will do for a percentage on the Catalyst as well. Slowly takes a little bit to get out of here. You'll have these 3 here. And again, you could run all the way through most of this. I'll kill a couple just to make sure I've always got a decent amount of ammo. But I'm not going to kill everything by any means. There's a lot of enemies out through the middle. Now there is a wizard up here, so I might actually pull out the effigy here just to get something to melt this guy down. Makes it a little more fun that way. And then we can run forward. So we're going to head pretty far in like you're running Savathun Strike. Ogre would spawn in here, run on past, have some ad spawn. It's almost as far as you can go without actually having the strike open. Not quite as far as you can go to where the door is actually blocked, but pretty damn close. And that's why I left this one till last, so you don't have to backtrack all the way into here by doing these in the wrong order. So we're going to have some ads in this room, usually a couple. It's actually fun to kill them with this thing just because the beam does rather well. Just a very efficient way to kill all these guys. Alright, final piece we've got. Never hurts to have. I have no idea what they're going to do, by the way, with that. So once you get to this room here, and you can see this big giant screen, couple enemies will be right in front of you. The last one, just do a quick U-turn. Jump up here, and this is 10 of 10 for Titan. So that should be everything for Titan. We can come in here and confirm, so I try and do one planet at a time. Make sure you've got them all. 10 of 10. Now, just to check the Catalyst percentage, we were roughly 9, maybe 10%. Now on the Catalyst, after those eyes, we are at 40%. So 10 eyes is 30%. Rough math, you'll finish it up in about 33. So we're going to head over to a different planet now. So this should be everything for Titan. Off to, I think we're going to go to Mercury next. All right, Guardians, now we are on Mercury. Only one landing zone, so everything's done from the lighthouse. We're going to make a clockwise circle around the normal patrol zone first. Then we're going to head into Pariah's Refuge, and we're going to get some eyes in there. So you got 4 in the patrol, 4 in the Lost Sector, and then you've got 1 on each of these little spires that are related to the public event. Now, the only issue is when you do the public event, you have to get up to the top of one of them when it is the heroic version, and it's very specific each one. So the one, if you're looking at the map here, the one on the right of the map, or from, you know, if you're actually in the landing zone, it's this one over here. It's on the lower level. You can do it either order. But if you're looking at the map, the one on the left, which I probably have to peek out here to try and see, but the one that's way over there, that you guys can see, that one is up on the very, very tippy top. and you have to get to that one by doing the heroic crystal jumping shooting thing. So I'm going to show you guys that one separately because I tried to do it in a previous video and it just didn't take because people did the public event in the wrong order. So that may happen, and I'll kind of explain why as I do it. But first we're going to go on our little circle. First one, right in here. So we're going to head inside to where Brother Vance is at, and you're going to look for this flag over here on the wall. And when you get close enough and you look up, you should be able to see it. So this is number 1. Only takes like 1 ammo to get these things, which is nice. Travel back outside, and you probably will pop out in the front. Yep, that's fine. So at least you can jump on your Sparrow, make this a quick drive. We're going to head to our left. And we're going to head right down here where this kind of busted sphere is, somewhat encapsulated in Vex stuff. And number 2 is tucked right down here underneath. Number 3 is going to be towards the actual Infinite Forest entrance. So you can jump on your Sparrow, kind of cruise through here. And you're looking for one of these 2 statues that looks like it's kind of old and ancient. And you should be able to spot it once you get towards the middle. This statue right up here. For point of reference, if I'm sitting right in front of the Infinite Forest and I face towards the middle, it's the statue on the left. It looks like it's holding it in its hands. And the 4th one in the patrol zone, if you keep making this full clockwise circle, past a few of these ads, you'll find it over here in this tree. It's kind of between the branches, and that is 4. Okay, outside patrol zone is done. Jump back on the Sparrow, and we're going to head to the Lost Sector the best way I know how to get there. And when it comes to the public event, you might just have to wait for this public event to show up. So if you stand here long enough, it's like a watch pot that doesn't ever boil. The Lost Sector takes a while. Or the public event takes a while to show up. But come down here to the Lost Sector, and we're going to clear probably quite a few ads out. You almost need to clear out the entire Lost Sector. So bring a weapon that can do some damage. And we will get rocking and rolling here in a second. I have a really good gnawing hunger I like using, but unfortunately, I'm going to need to use something else because I actually need to use primary ammo. So, got a bow. Not going to be the fastest, but we'll work through. And as soon as you get into the Lost Sector, the first one is really, really close by. So I'm going to clear some ads. Actually, as many as I can, probably. And then I'll come back and show you guys. Do this piece at a time. Enough to where they're not shooting me. Alright, cool. Alright, so in this first room, before you head off to the right towards the Lost Sector, just come to the left of this large stone, look straight up, and tag it. Now, as we come around the corner, you're going to have a few ads. And again, don't use the orbs in here to make sure you don't accidentally damage one of the eyes. Once you get into this next room that's got the couple statues in the middle, you'll find this one off to the right. Pretty quick get right there. Once you've got that one done, then if you want to use one of these orbs to clear out the room, it's a more fun way to do it, honestly. It's actually a pretty powerful way to clear. This thing is so much fun. The blocking, I haven't done a full review, but the blocking is crazy powerful. And then when you run out of ammo, just dunk. You got some more ads. Again, be careful. Only use the orb where I'm showing you just to make sure you're safe and don't glitch out your triumph, which you don't want to do. Alright, I'm going to dunk it here and then move back to normal ammo. So now you are going to need to actually finish off this entire room because you need to get in basically the back of the room and the boss is going to mess you up otherwise if you're trying to shoot this thing. So I'm going to clear out almost this entire room, boss and everything included. And then we're going to turn around and shoot the eyes that are basically above my head right now, but they're behind me. And with the boss and all these snipers shooting at me, I just don't want you guys to die while you go. Now, a nice thing to bring in is a sword. He'll die quick. Knock him out real fast. You'll have some ads that spawn. That's why I like swords on bosses. It's just amazing. And if you got anything that's quick ability kills, should speed this process along. Take out the snipers fast. They're probably the most annoying. In proper Titan fashion as well, punch everything. It's more fun that way. Alright, that should be just about everything. Once you actually get to where you have the chest, just do a 180. And you should have 2 eyes available. So one up here to the left, and one up here to the right. Cool. Alright, we're going to go back to outside and talk about the public event. Alright, Guardians. So once you see the public event active and getting ready, you want to position yourself as best as you can. So as I explained, you want to have this side finish the orb dunking first, so you can head to this tower for the heroic public event activation to get to the very top. So I'm going to head over here, clear out all the enemies, and I'm honestly just going to take everything I can and wait so I can be completely ready when this thing kicks off. Apparently that ammo brick went on quite a journey. So once this thing kicks off, I'm going to teleport back and show you guys where both of them should be, and that will wrap up Mercury, and we should be done. So I'm going to hang out here until we're ready to go. Alright, Guardians, so we've got about 10 seconds left. So what you want to do is be ready, try and get both orbs dunked. When the orbs drop, you're going to want to put them into these two platforms. As soon as they're done, this should rotate, and then you should be able to jump over to the other side and then make it all the way to the far spire. So as soon as things start spawning, try and get everything killed on your side as soon as possible, because it already looks like I'm fighting with one person early on, which you don't really want to be doing. Now I'm standing up here where one of the snipers is probably going to spawn, so I'm trying to get a little ahead of them. And again, some of the enemies spawn for a little bit, but something like a sword, xenophage, something big that's going to help you kill the enemy that's actually going to drop the orbs quickly is crucial. So as soon as you see a bigger enemy start to spawn, that is when you want to jump down and get ready. So it looks like we're getting it to spawn. I'm going to punch this guy, drop down, and again, just sword the crap out of this guy. It's a little harder to shield it more than anything. That's fun. So see if I can kill it. Okay, seriously? Alright, so it's down. Orb should drop. We need to dunk one over here. And then one on the other side. I'll clear these guys out with a grenade. And then as long as you're first, then you'll notice the warp gate's disabled. I'm 2 of 4. Now I should be able to head on over to the other side, work on the rest of this, and show you guys where both of them are. So now that I'm over here, should be pretty smooth sailing. So first you're going to have all these guys to kill here. No big deal. 2 snipers up top. And a couple different adds again. So try and kill that guy first. Make sure you got some ammo, and we're going to dunk the orbs. Basically right now I seem to be soloing the public event. Guess sometimes that's what you got to do. So once all 4 are dunked, and if this side is the last ones to go, this will rotate so you can jump over to this spire, which is where we want to go. Cool. Now, when you land, you're going to have some adds that spawn, and another one of those majors that will drop an orb that we need to dunk in the center. Once that is dunked, we need to work our way up to the top so we can actually clear everything out. So I'm going to actually use this thing to really melt some of these adds down. Pretty powerful when you use it, right? And then here's the enemy that I need to kill. So I'm going to hold the little block action, give me some nice drop, and then when I get low, dunk and take him out. So I'm going to dunk the charge. And then I'm going to turn right around and come back here so I can work on the heroic crystals. So this is how you make this public event heroic, by the way, in case you've never done this. This is how you do it. Turn around, you're looking for the crystals that spawn. Follow the platforms as they spawn. You'll be looking for them. It's 1, and then 2, and then 3. You got to be fairly quick, so use something reasonably powerful. This thing's not bad to work through. You can actually see the eye up there. I'm still going to get all the way to the top, but you can't actually see it, so if you're worried, you could take the shot from here. I feel like I'm going to shoot it on accident just because it's actually in line with the crystals. And there should be a third right here. And the platforms will go away, so you don't have just all day to do this. And up we go. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot that one. That is number 9 in here. I'm going to stand on the center platform, try and turn this thing to a heroic, and also should give me more time on the public event. I don't think I've ever tried to actually do this public event solo, so that's a little different. So once we drop down, we're going to head to the other side. Same principle this time as we go across. We're going to be killing the enemy, but if you're really just looking for the eye, the last one is very, very close. Now, I shot it earlier, but I'm going to actually use this take just because it's actually fairly smooth and should work fairly well. All right, so once we get over here, we'll clear out some adds, and I'll show you guys where the eye should be. I shot it earlier, and I'll put a little clip in so you guys can see where it's at. But if you just come over here to the left, you should actually find it pretty quick. But I'm going to kill the boss over here. So So, got the orb spawning here, and then dunk when you're low on ammo. Should kill just about everything, and you can go ahead and dunk. Once it dunks, it should clear out the ads, which is nice. So if you need a point of reference from when you enter, you're going to head to the left. A couple ads apparently stand. Yep, they'll dissipate. Head to the left, and if you're looking out into the world, look up, and the eye should be right up here. And I'll put a clip in right now where you can see where it's at. And that is basically all of the eyes for Mercury. So again, if you want to make sure you got them all, go in, check your triumphs. If you do one planet at a time, it's easier to check. 20 of 50, we are done with Mercury. Let's head out to Mars. All right, so we have made it to Mars, and we are going to go from the bottom, Glacial Drift, and end up in the top in Braytech Futurescape. So starting Glacial Drift, we're going to go into the Ma'adim subterranean Lost Sector, clear out a couple, go way the crap down here to where you started this planet, and then we're going to go up to Braytech Futurescape at the top. So first thing, we're going to head into the Lost Sector. Now this Lost Sector you need to clear out fully. Now you can run through some of this if you want to, but you are going to want to be able to kill the boss because you need a pretty clean shot at what I would call the skylight of the Lost Sector. And it's right there in the tail end. Now, a sword can help knock out the boss pretty quickly and some powerful enemies. So again, swords are pretty helpful in these Lost Sectors. You should be over leveled, but again, if you're being shot by 30 enemies, it's still going to hurt. So some of the stuff you can skip, but when you get to the boss room, putting something heavy into the big boss will speed that process along. So again, right here, I'm probably going to skip some of this. I might shoot one enemy to make sure I've got enough ammo for the Ruinous Effigy. And again, just running along, skipping this. If you got a defensive build or you go invisible, not a bad way to go. As a Titan, you guys can see, defensive strike going to help me speed this along as well. Now, some of the enemies won't chase you too bad. Gladiators, of course, are quite aggressive and annoying, but if you can get past them, hopefully they'll leave you alone. When you turn the corner, you might have a couple dogs, and then we should be towards the boss room. Now, this is where you're going to want to probably start killing things, just to make sure you got a decent shot at a clean run. And, of course, the boss does that type of stuff to you, so a couple ads to kill first. And this one, you don't really run the risk of hitting the eye, so you could totally use the transmutation sphere actually like this. Works as a nice shield. It totally negates the slam. And I'm just going to sit here and cook him with the shield. It's actually pretty helpful. Can't do anything about that. So when he gets down to 1, then I'm going to dump. And then I'm going to finish him up with a sword. Now you're going to have a few more enemies that spawn. About 4 scions should drop. And then once those are dead, and you can actually see the chest, turn to your left, look up in the skybox, and here is Mars number 1. Alright, back outside. Alright, so 2, 3, and 4 is going to be one run altogether. So jump on your Sparrow. We're going to head up to the door that kind of takes you up to Braytech, but we're not going to go through it. So drive by these guys, and you can actually see it right up here. So before you take this, tunnel up to the next area, just look right up here. Go ahead and take out eye number 2. Jump back on your Sparrow, and you can actually drive just across the whole bridge. Makes it easiest, honestly. Might run into a couple ads on either side. However you like to get across the bridge is up to you. And we're going to head into this room here. Over here with this kind of elevator section. As soon as you turn this corner to the left, that should be number 3. Once we pop outside, jump on your Sparrow, and we are in for a bit of a hike. We are going to where you land on this planet for the very first time. When we're doing the story mission stuff. So we are a long ways in here, so if you can keep your Sparrow, it might make some of this easier. Not always the simplest thing to do. It might get shot. It's not a big deal, but I'm just going to drive you guys through to try and make it a smidge quicker, if possible. Should have a couple ads, but if you actually have your Sparrow, you can kind of cliff jump this thing right here. And if you get a decent run and not get shot too much, it's not too bad, but either way, just keep proceeding through. And instead of going the way you would go for the strike down in here, you're actually going to head to the left, which normally you don't do. Now I can take the sphere with me, which is fun to do. Blow up a few guys as I run along. Less to worry about. There's a wizard down here. A couple knights as well. And this thing just cooks everything insanely fast. And if you dunk, most things tend to die. Nice way to get a little bit of ammo. So again, the strike would head off that direction up. We're headed down here to the left. And we're going literally to the top of the mountain. As I said, it's where you land the first time you get to this entire planet. And we're going all the way to the top. And you'd be like, oh, surely they wouldn't put it at the very, very tippy top. Yes, they did. 100% at the top. Just keep running along, cooking. Love the blocking ability. It does a lot of damage. I'm wondering how long this will stay this effective because it does seem fairly powerful. Hopefully they don't nerf it because it's actually a pretty cool effect. And make sure you drop it. You do not want to affect the eye with the orbs, remember? And when you finally get back here, the last eye is up here at the top. And then we will be done with the south section of the map. Alright, so that is 4. Now let's head to Braytech Futurescape. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into the core terminus lost sector just to check this one off. Everything else will be accessed through patrols. So easiest way to the lost sector is just turn slightly left. And if you can time it right, gotta love the Titan for the glide. Right in here, and lost sector will be in here. Now it's fairly far into the lost sector. You don't have to kill everything, but you get just before the boss room, so you're gonna have to fight probably a few guys unless you just want to skip everything. So as we run down here, I am going to kind of miss this lost sector, honestly, as all these eyes are kind of a tour of the planets going away. I farmed way too many kills in here for ads and precision kills and all the little stuff. It's a nice place just to get a lot of kills. And again, it's always nice to... this is a perfect place to really take advantage of this. Just make sure if you are going to use it, you only use it in this room and not the next. So if you're going to kill things, kill it in this room and then drop it before you go to the next room. You do not want to ruin the eye with this thing. So I'm going to dunk it here. Make sure I don't actually take it too long with me. A couple more ads will come out once you kill a lot. Where's the last dude? And then once you get in here, you're going to have the string of Thrall that come at you. You guys can see it right over there. I'm just going to kill the Thrall first. They go down really fast. They line up a little too well, actually. Once they're all done and lined up, leave the orb on the ground. And up here to the right, in case you guys need a point of reference, boss is going to spawn in there. Eye is right up here. Alright, so back outside for our final 2 trips for Mars. Alright, so once we are back here, we've got 2 different options. Both are going to be pretty lengthy. One is going to take us all the way back into Hellas View like we're doing the strike. I think it's the Will of the Thousand strike. And the other one is going to be way up here, almost to where you would finish the original story missions where you go bump into Rasputin. So we're going to start going left. There's 2 over here. So jump on your Sparrow, and you don't want to go too far. Once you get past this little section right here, and here is the next one. This should be number 5. Nope, number 6. 5 was the lost sector. And we're going to continue on, and you almost have to go through the entire strike. So if you guys want to follow along, I'll do it real time. Try and keep my Sparrow as quick as I can. I could jump ahead, totally could, but I'm going to show you guys the full-time path to get there. Again, that's why I've got timestamps for just about everything. Now, if you can drive your Sparrow somewhat safely and not take too much damage, you can actually hop this little lip, and I'll show you guys how. If you hang toward the right wall when you get up here, this little snowdrift will kind of let you rise up above that, and you keep your Sparrow with you for just a little bit longer. Doesn't make it that much faster, but it's just kind of fun. Now, Alt and Dynamo, you don't have to do too much once you're in here besides just running all the way through. Typically going to have some Cabal, and honestly, if you want to run one of these orbs just as defense, it's a fun way to dunk. A lot of things will probably die, and you keep running. You don't specifically have to do any of the strike mechanics, like shooting anything. You can just run all the way through, and then I'll show you guys where you have to get to. It's almost the final room. It's where you would face the big ogre in the strike. But you can skip most of this as you go. Again, if you want to go invisible, do something like I'm doing with defensive strike, shoot a couple people, it's kind of fun. Dunk, kill everything, don't have to worry about it, and just keep running through. So you're just going straight through these rooms, one into the other. Shouldn't be too painful. Going to be some ads in a couple of places. These guys here. Make sure you don't get yourself exploded on fire, but that's a different problem. You can skip most of this by just hopping over and turning hard to the right, and this is where it's going to be. So you're going to have some ads in here, so I'm going to clear those out, and I'm going to show you guys where this one is at. So, nice way to clear some ads. Grab an orb. See if people want to bunch up. Especially if you got the snipers and the wizards. Just nice to burn these guys down pretty easily. Dunkage. And we're almost done. Probably got a couple left. Come on, where you at? Alright, so now for a point of reference, from where you enter this room, it's actually going to be off to our left. So everything's cleared. You're going to turn to your left, and you guys can probably see it up there right now. But if you jump up on this platform, back up a little bit, pretty clean shot. There we go. All right, so now we're going to go back to the Braytech Futurescape landing zone for the final 3. All right, so one more time here at Braytech Futurescape. The last 3 are going to be headed through the middle, right by Anna. The first one is actually right next to Anna Bray. So when you jump up here, you're going to actually go up to Anna Bray's level. Got to get all the way up here, otherwise you can't see it. And if you can see here, turn up to the right, and you got to actually be able to shoot it. So that's always the tough part. So you got to get a little bit lower, take the shot, because if you're up there, you know, she doesn't want you to shoot you. So that is number 8. Continue back like we're going actually to the Mind Lab for Rasputin. We're going all the way to the end. That's why I do kind of break these up in as smooth of an order as I could. I tried to go through and test for all of you to see what was the most efficient run. Seems like this was pretty close to it. Probably going to be done with my catalyst soon, as we're about 30 through. So we'll be curious what to see what our percentage is. Now, once you get out here, you're going to have a couple ads real quick. You can kill those. Of course, if he would show himself. Dude, come on. Peek, buddy. Come on. He's right there. He really knows. Alright, so once you get out here and you can see the giant Rasputin thing over here to your right, just turn to your left, come up to this barrier, and then peek behind the building, and here's number 9. Speaking of Catalyst, that's when that one finished, so you guys can actually see that. So I think that was 29 of the eyes, and I'm done. So it's not even remotely that far that you have to get them all. Oh, I'm gonna die. Well, not too bad. A little slowed. Now for the last one on Mars, for the Mind Lab, you gotta go all the way almost to Rasputin. You may as well get to Rasputin because you can go say hey. Jump on up here, go for the full run. Now in here, we're gonna be running by some enemies. So again, option of yours if you want to kill them or not. I'm just gonna sprint on by because you don't have to kill everything. You just want to get to the end. Probably will make sure I stop talking as well. More ads here. A couple of these are not bad to kill. As you'll be running through, you're going to want to kill the sniper for sure. It's probably the most important one. Follow these hoses up to the top. So again, not every enemy is required. You can skip most of them. Now, this eye is going to be back in the back of everything, so I am probably going to kill most of this stuff just so I have a pretty clean place to explain and show you guys where it's at. Doesn't take too long. Bow's fairly efficient at times. I'm also probably going to pop my super. It'd be good if I could actually shoot my bow, though. Okay, you just die. Alright, work on clearing out the ads. You got a couple wizards. Swords do wonders. Final ad. And if you look at the final door, just turn to your left, and that is number 10. So that should be everything for Mars. Catalyst is actually done now, so I can activate that one for entertainment value. Ta-da! And so you guys know, I got the Catalyst done in 30. So 30 down, 20 to go. Now let's go knock out Io, and then to the fun jumpy ones, the mission and the dungeon. So Io's next. Alright, Guardians, so now we are on Io. Now we've got 10 on Io itself, and you also have 5 in the Whisper mission as well. Now, the Whisper mission, you actually have 2 basic difficulties. I don't know if it's just on the map for everybody anymore. If you haven't ever been to it before, I have a separate video that will show you how to activate it. Basically, it involves a public event in Lost Sector and kind of going through the portal for the first time. But if it is just on the map for everybody, which it may be at this point, there will be 5 in there. We'll cover that after this. But to start, every one of these seems to be done in a pair. So you've got one pretty close, and then a Lost Sector, and then pretty close to a Lost Sector, and then in a Lost Sector. So we're going to start in the Rupture and then work our way north. So first we're going to be at right here in the Rupture. Just when you're in the landing zone, turn to the right, and directly above where Asher Mir is at, you've got number 1. Now we're going to head into the Lost Sector directly across the way. This one's actually not too far in. And we're going to go for the second one, and then, just like any of the others, I'm going to teleport back out to give you guys a fresh start for the next set. As always, driving my Sparrow in here, trying to... It's probably almost faster to run, but It's always kind of fun to see how terrible of a driver I am. So once you're in here, you'll have some enemies that you need to clear out just kind of on this lower level. Something usually kind of nice to clear through them sometimes with super. Goes a little quicker. Especially those guys. Oh, come on, give me another one. Alright, so that should be just about all of those. Should have a couple ads cleared out. And whatever spawns up top over there, they tend to go jumping off and flip dive usually. But once you've got to this point, you can turn around and see it. Now, I don't know if I can get a shot on it here. That should do it. Now, if you guys want a little better angle on it, I'm going to go jump up and show you where you can get a better angle. So I did actually hit it. But what you can do is jump up on either of these two right here. I'm going to jump up here. Just kind of any of these little platforms here. And then if you jump up here, you should definitely be able to shoot it because it's right up there. All right, back outside. Alright, so the next two, once you're back at the landing zone, are going to be on the opposite side of the rupture, so Sparrow required, or at least should be. And we're in for a bit of a drive. We're going to the complete opposite side to the other lost sector, but before we go in the lost sector, there's another one fairly close to that entrance. Easier path if you take this one to the right, you'll hang on the outside edge. You might have some ads around here that you got to kill. It's usually not that big of a deal. So if you stop right about here, before you head back to the lost sector, and you see this little kind of busted skeleton, do a quick U-turn, and oh, I gotta get a different angle. It's up here actually. I was trying to avoid these ads, but apparently I'm not gonna get to. Alright, so this little set of ads by this kind of really flattened out tree, if you do a U-turn up in the actual Pyramidian IO stuff, whatever it is, there is number 3. Now, after that one, just turn and we're going to go into the lost sector. And you pretty much have to get most of the way through this one. Again, as I'm running around, I'm still picking up materials because I don't know what's going to happen to these materials. Either they're going to give you legendary shards for a certain number of them and they're just going to go away, or you just have to always get them from Spider. I don't know what they're going to do, but the planetary materials for planets that aren't going to be here anymore does seem like a weird thing. Alright, so as we head into this lost sector, you are going to need to clear out basically everything. Now, this is the one with all the Vex. Now, you can run by most of this. There's one Minotaur that's probably going to get a little aggressive. You can pop him with Effigy just because he's void. You want to bring this guy with you. You're not going to hit it, so you're totally fine. Now, I will say I used this to basically destroy the boss. Worked really, really, really well. So I used a few of these as I went through just to clear everything out. It was a bit more fun this way. And then find something to shoot. Grab one, jump up here, and then just block. And melt everything. You can melt the blight, you can melt the boss. Everything sits here and cooks, even the boss. And then when you get low on ammo, dunk. Boss is down. And then grab your next orb and clear the rest of the world out. Goes pretty quick, which is nice. Last few should pretty well fry. When you get down to 1 ammo, remember that is when you're actually going to start taking damage. When you get low, dunk and kill just about everything. Alright, so we should be good. So if you guys are looking directly at the chest, you just need to do a full 180, look up, and it's right here. Alright, so next we're going to head over to Giant Scar, and we got a pair right over there. Alright, so once you land in Giant Scar, we're going to have one that's actually one of the arms of the drill, and then we're going to head into the excavation site. So once you get in here, head off to the right. And as you wrap around, public events going on, of course trying to make my video interesting. So do the full wrap like you're almost headed into Berserk Cave. And when you get right about here, what you want to do is turn around and look up. And actually in the arm of the drill, you can see it right over here. If you want to see where I'm aiming on the map, it's actually right in here aiming this direction so you know which arm I'm at. I'm going to jump back on my Sparrow and get the heck out of here so the public event doesn't kill me. And from here, I'm going to drive up this direction and into excavation site 2. You don't have to go that far in, but you got to get a little ways in here. So again, bad Sparrow driving commencing, as usual. Alright, so once you're in here, you can skip the first room. It's mostly optional, unless you just feel like you're going to get killed by shield men. Not bad. Take my phase glass with me, thank you. And as we head up the ramp, got a few ads in here, kill those. And it's this room, you'll know it's the right room, because it has this big, giant, circular door. And pretty much what you need to do is get in here, kill enough things so you can do a quick U-turn, look up, and right above the door where you entered. Alright, so now we're going to go to Lost Oasis for the last 4 altogether. Make sure I don't die, hold on. Try that again, to Lost Oasis. Alright, so once you're in Lost Oasis, we're going to do all 4 of these together just to make life easy. So when you land, walk forward a little bit and turn to your right, and you should be able to see it tucked right up here. May take a few shots, so that's 1. Then keep running up the hill, and we're going to head towards this little tree. Apparently I got a small chest. High value target dead. Alright, so heading towards this giant tree trunk in the middle, and you're looking basically for this canyon that kind of splits this upper area. Probably seen public events up here before. And then under the giant tree into the root area, you'll get this next platform right here, sometimes where the Taken public event is. And it's right down here on one of the branches. So that's 2. That's 8 total now. Now we need the last 2. So jump on your Sparrow, and what you want to do is head all the way back over here. So it's on this path. Just for a quick map reference, I'm up here towards the top. And we're going to go to the Terra Base Sharon and then the Wraith Mines for the final 2. So way, way, way in the top. So unlike the Calcified Light, these are actually a little more off the beaten path. So this is kind of like a tour of everything that's about to leave for every planet. Now once you get to Terra Base Sharon, the first one's pretty easy to spot. Don't even have to do too much, just straight ahead. And if you really don't want to fight that much stuff, you can actually just tuck right over here. Probably find one thing to kill. If you're really concerned, you can probably just kill everything right here with the awesomeness that is the orbs. And then we'll head into the mine. So 1 more to go. And it's been a while even since I've been in here, but you don't have to go too far in actually. There's a couple like kind of winding corridors that connect. But once you actually get into the opening section of the Wraith Mines, you'll know because there's like a drill hanging from the ceiling. You're in the right room, might need to kill a couple ads so you can get the right angle, so it doesn't take too long. It's actually tucked right over here on the right. I'm just trying to kill this last guy. So this is the last one for Io. Stupid. There we go. So this is the last one for Io right here. And again, just confirming as I went through it with you guys, should be at 40. Check. Alright, so now we're going to go through the Whisper mission for 5, and then the Prophecy Dungeon has the final 5. So, Whisper's next. Alright, Guardians, so the next eyes are going to be in the Whisper mission. So again, if you need a little tip of how to get into this mission, we've got a full video of how the whole thing actually works. It's an old one, but I still think you should be able to activate it. But if you've ever done it, have seen it, you should have both the regular and heroic difficulty. We're just going to go into the regular difficulty, and let's see where these eyes are at. You don't have to do any of the enemy fighting. It's all just in the jumping. So here we go. Alright, Guardians, so when you load in, the best way to do this without going through the entire Lost Sector is jump up onto this little shell here. See if I can still do this. And then up on this one. And then you're just trying to get right over here to this ledge. It's a little hard to see, so if you do turn up the brightness, it can help you a little bit, just because the brightness is a little low. Probably had that for screenshots. But the idea is, again, time is not really sensitive. You can go up to this shell right here. Again, you can make the full jump from here. If I'm up here, and I'm trying to get up to this little ledge, all you're trying to do is double jump, float around, and land right over here. No crazy jumps required. Alrighty, so I'm going to use this thing. Actually, I'm going to use the bow to shoot him down. And these are all in order. So as you go through, there's just a few things that you got to do. Normally, you'd be running to be a little more persistent on time, but not really too much of a rush. So when you fall down, catch the fall. I'm on a Titan, so I actually have to slow the fall. The first one is pretty easy to get to. As soon as you get into this open entrance here, you'll jump through the first little gap. If you've never been in here, so spoiler alert. Right up here in the entrance. So this is number 1 in the Whisper mission. Alright, so we're going to keep going. Now, all this stuff that is with, like, the red on the walls, you're going to notice a little more of that later on, farther down below. So watch these little things that are trying to shoot you out. Now, if you're a Titan and you have Lion Rampants, you can do a bit of a skip, but I'm just going to put them on just for safety of jumping. Let me show you guys how you can kind of manage this. So what you want to do is try and aim down about here to try and catch yourself. And you'll notice the wall actually angles, so if you hit it too hard, you will kind of bounce away. And if you just wait for a little bit, you should be able to run by, get by a couple of these. Just be careful where they could be jutting out, and you're just trying to get down to this little ledge down here. So honestly, even for somebody like a Titan, Hunter, Warlock could have a little issue trying to fall there. work your way down. I've done this mission so many times. I have a Whisper guide out there that got a couple views, to say the least. But yeah, this has always been an awesome mission. So if you never saw it, I'm actually glad they're taking everybody through. So from here, you're gonna have these little things that are gonna want to push you out as you get closer. So what you need to do is start running as they push back, and it's not really a big rush. You'll notice there's a break, and just wait for each one. We're not trying to push for speed on this one. You're not trying to go for a lightning speed run or anything. So just do one at a time. And you'll notice this one's a little harder to catch the break. And one will actually pop right back out. Not this one, but the next one is going to pop right back out. So you really got to get moving. As soon as it starts to go back, push, and it's going to start pushing you away. So be careful on that one. So we're going to jump across. Float on over. Now this one, my advice usually is just jump up here to the top. Try and get yourself up on this. And then on this little weird platform, if you've ever done Garden of Salvation, it's going to be the same way. Almost fell myself. You can't really clamber this box, so you got to do a flat landing on the top. Now when it gets towards the top, you're going to want to jump to that ledge, but don't wait too long because there's a little thing that's going to want to push you off. So as soon as you start to get that elevation going forward, just kind of jump out and head on up. Now we're getting closer to the second one. Second one should be as we get closer towards the Vandal room. Now here again, just watch these little platforms trying to push you off. Again, no major rush, just trying to watch getting squished. And now we're at the next phase. So once you get to the opening where things actually do open up, first thing you want to do is actually just turn directly to your left, and we're going to get eye number 2. Pretty painless to get to this one. Now you're going to notice there's little boops that want to actually kind of shoot you off the ledges. So if you time this right, as soon as the first one goes, you should be able to land each of these. Can be a little tight on timing. This one's always a little snug. Line rampants probably saved me a little bit there. Now there are a couple snipers in here. Now you can usually just run by and not take the damage there, but just showing you guys they are behind you if you want to shoot them. Same thing, you're going to have one more that spawns farther out, but you're going to have these 2 platforms, and we're going right in that little door over there. A little bit of a quick jump as soon as it's charging is the best time to actually go for this. And then land right over here. Should be able to see your sniper. Oh, come on, I was trying to actually kill him. Now, on this one is usually when I actually jump towards it, I usually do it while it's closed. Because you've got a long enough flight over there, whatever type of jump you're going to do, it should be opening up. And wait for it. When it closes for about a second, we'll go. You can land on this little lip here and then open right in. So we're 2 down. Once you're in this room, there should not be any eyes in here. We're looking to get to that back opening over there. So easiest way to get there, jump over to this little globe, and then you can honestly just run across. This was never too crazy painful. All the way to the back, and then up in this little kind of trash chute looking thing. You fall down in, we'll be in kind of everybody's favorite room. So you'll notice one directly ahead. So in the crevice, there's some shadow thrall down below. If you fall, it's not that big of a deal, but here's number 3. Alright, so once you've shot this eye right in front of you, actually joys of editing, had to check real quick to make sure I was right, you just want to turn around. Now where you enter the room is right up here, and this little kind of grassy rock, you want to crouch next to it over here. It's not the most obvious, but if you crouch down, come over here, your light will come on, and we'll go ahead and fall on down. And tucked right around this corner is eye number 4. So we are almost done. Alright, so from eye number 4, what we're going to do is turn around and head towards the rest of the mission. Right out here to this big blue opening. Now if you jump over here to this ledge, you don't want to get that far. You want to get as close to this side as you can get, because we're trying to jump to that little nodule over there. Now if you're on a Titan, you've got a Warlock, you've got some way to float farther, Lion Rampant, Stompies, anything like that, put them on. But I will tell you, if you don't have anything like that, try and get anything that's got a little higher mobility, just to give you a little bit more of a jump, possibly. Anything's going to help here. And what we're trying to do is land over here, because the last one is just barely not visible from where we're at. So get a nice little quick sprint jump. Float over as long as you can. Try and clamber. Perfect landing. You guys will see number 5 way back here. Probably gonna have to shoot it a couple times, and that is number 5. All right, so that is everything for the Whisper. Finally, let's get into Anomaly and finish up these 50. All right, Guardians, we've got 5 here in the Prophecy Dungeon. I recorded the first one, or at least I thought I did. So I'll show you guys where the first one is at. I won't actually be able to shoot it with the weapon, but everything else I will show you guys. So I'm going to clear this first section out because it's actually in the second phase of this area. And then I'll show you guys where each of them are at in between kind of all the fights and stuff. So joys of editing, here we go to the first one. All right, Guardians, so once you've cleared out everything, I'm going to show you point of reference from just the start of the dungeon. So once you run in, this is going to be the first set of 4 night rooms that you're going to have. It's the more dark of the 2 rooms. Once this one is done, you'll notice that this will actually open up, and then you'll get into the second set of rooms. Now, the eye is a little hard to locate. You've actually got these skylights above, so this first big giant globe that you can get on moves a little bit. It's actually going to be right up here. Now, I already shot it in the previous video I thought I recorded, but it should be right up here in the first skylight in the second room. Now, the next one's going to be in the big open wasteland, so once we get there and have that cleaned out, I'll show you guys where it's at. Alright, so once you've completely cleared out heaven, hell, the wasteland the first time through, you may have like an occasional Minotaur sitting out there. It's totally fine. What we're looking to do, jump on your Sparrow, and hopefully I don't flip. So if you head off to the right from where you spawn in, you're going to see what looks to be Titans kind of remnants. Kind of notice the railing and the boxes, and then if you follow past it to the right, kind of around the outside edge, you'll get to the section that looks like Io. Main reason you know it's Io is because you'll know it's the Pyramidion entrance, kind of this big giant triangular area. This is the big Pyramidion entrance, and what you need to do is go past it on the inside, because if it's outside, it's kind of out of bounds. Come around the back side here, and the eye should be tucked right behind it. So eye number 2, right back here. And there we go. Alright, so the next one is actually going to be in the cube room, but it's after you finish the fight. So I'll show you guys that once we clear that part of the fight. Alright, so once you have finished the cube room, what you're going to do is, if you're facing the chest, we're going to jump over here to the left and jump up on this little platform here and this one, and look up here to your left, kind of tucked in the very top. That is number 3. So the 4th one is going to be in the big ribbon room, so I'll kind of show you guys the guide as we go down there. And the 5th one is going to be in the boss room, which I've technically already recorded, but I'll put that one there at the end, and that will be all 50. But the next one is the ribbon, and I'll show you guys where it's at. It's a bit of a long glide, so I'll show you guys my path down. Hopefully you like it. So, to the ribbons. Alright, Guardians, so the next part is going to be at the bottom of the big ribbon drive. So, actually what I'm going to do is show you guys kind of the full path that I take down, just in case you want some help getting down to the bottom. You may know it already, but I'm still going to show you my way that I go down. But what we're looking to do is get all the way down to the very, very, very bottom, right where the tractor beam is. It's the diamond before you go up the tractor beam, and it's going to be in the very bottom of that. So usually what I'll do is just come right over here, and I typically tend to drive on the middle one. Somebody else was showing me, and then once you kind of start going, seems to give you a little higher perspective, so it's not quite as weird of a drive. And I like to drive because you don't have to fight as nearly as many things, but I'm also on a Titan, so I can recover more. If you're playing on something like a Warlock, it might be a little harder to recover, so maybe you walk it down. But again, there's no big fear of like too much worry of falling, because if you do fall, it's not that big of a deal, because you're not trying to do a flawless or anything right now. So driving the whole way down, skip all the enemies. There's a couple of them ahead of me, so all the enemies are going to be ticked off already and shooting me. Well, one of them didn't make it. Don't be that guy if you can. Ooh, I almost lost it there too. Gotta love that. So wait for the vehicle. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this guy while I wait. The shield of nothing. And there we go. Oh, can I get the res? Drive-by res. Oh, come on. Really? Res. There you go. Be nice to your buddies. It's not a bad idea. And once you kind of go down the water slide, drive on through again. Now this one's always a little weird. If you can make the leap over here, this is what you want to do, is right when they split into this little ribbon, hang right here. And I'll usually walk this for a decent amount of the way or drive it. But once you get pretty close up there, you can either drive over the edge or get up here kind of as long as it'll hold. And again, I'm on a Titan, so I've got a different type of jump. Get to about here, fall on down. And we will keep driving. Unfortunately, I can't really go res my buddy because he's too far back. Okay, I'm the only one alive. At this point, if I die, we are in trouble. So I do jump off here, jump over to this ribbon as it flattens out, and then you should be able to drive the rest of the way down. Again, if you're playing with people, doesn't hurt to res if you drive by them, but if you don't, well, eventually they'll res. Clear the jump. Now, this section here, you will have a couple of the taken blasters. If you go at full speed, it shouldn't be quite so bad, it seems. But if you have multiple people kind of at different speeds, the person behind may get tagged. But if you're the first one through, I tend not to get tagged, but maybe I'm just lucky. Felt like I was driving on the edge there for a sec as we're wrapping around. So this is the diamond. The one we're coming up to right now is the one you do not want to pass all the way through. We're going to take a stop, go inside, and it's going to be at the bottom. Nice and smooth. So once you're in here, just as soon as you get inside the diamond, turn to the right. It's going to be right over here. Now, I may not have said this before, but you want to make sure and keep the Ruinous Effigy with you and equipped with ammo. Now, as you go through the previous section, you go back through the wasteland. You can kill a bunch of enemies, so if you need ammo to bring it into this next one, but make sure you have ammo once you're in here, because there's not really a great way to get ammo back once you're in here besides like waiting on it to refill. So now you're going to kind of be in the opening of the bottom of the pyramid. And if you peek over the edge, it is right down in the bottom. There you go. All right, so bonus, if you do jump across, there is a chest over here. Just kind of an extra pull. Now, if you've got it for the week, I don't think this one double drops, but it does give you a single drop first time through if you haven't seen it. Final one is going to be in the boss room. The biggest thing about the boss room that you don't want to do is actually one-phase him. You're going to need to go through enough rotations in the boss room so you get to the one that I'm going to show you. Once you're there, then we should be good to go. So, to the boss room. And you're going to need to be, it's in the triangular room with the boss on 3 sides of you. And you need to go through kind of the damage phase enough times until you get the right room to show up. So we're going to cut ahead till the right room is there. I'll show you where the eye is at. And we'll finish this up. And this will be number 50. All right, Guardians. So now that you are in the boss room, you may have some ads that spawn every so often. Not a big deal if they do. Just make sure you got enough ammo to shoot the eye. Which I should have enough. Now, from this point, if you're in the reference in the room, so we're straight across from you is this circle cut in half with the little L. You've got the backwards 4 to your left, the slash to the right. Look up and to your right. You'll see the blue triangle room. And if you keep looking up, your final eye should be right up here. Now, you have to be specifically in this room with the little Saturn platforms. Otherwise, you won't be able to see it. So you have to go through enough boss rotations. You guys can see the boss isn't dead to be able to have it up here. Once you've got it up here, that should be number 50. And I'm done, and hopefully you are too. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If other people are working on grinding for these, share this video to them. If you enjoyed it, drop a like below. Leave a comment if you got suggestions or anything like that, or if you just want to say hi. You guys can find me on Twitch and Twitter, Ebontis on both, right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the alert bell if you enjoyed this video. Lots more to come. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Climb into 50K. Thank you for the support. I'll see you soon.